Hello, everyone. I'm San. You're listening to San Huyen Podcast. We meet every Tuesday at 10 p.m. on the San Huyen Podcast YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified whenever San has a new podcast. In this podcast episode, I want to share with you about youth and why we need to strive when we are still young. San knows that many of you grew up without overly abundant conditions. We always dream of a day when we'll have money to eat delicious food, buy luxurious items, or get that phone we love but can't afford. San understands that many of you grew up in more privileged families. You had opportunities to travel, study abroad, and were financially comfortable. However, somewhere deep inside, you still always think that you need to be independent to earn your own money. Only then will you truly earn respect from others, instead of just receiving allowances and money from your parents. Each of us grows up with our own unique value, and somewhere along the line, our job, our career, the money we earn, and the value we bring sometimes say a lot about who we are. And especially, they greatly influence our way of life, our thinking, and our daily joy and happiness. After all, this life cannot escape the reality of money, can it? When we are young, both poor and naive, if we don't try hard, then what are we supposed to do? Perhaps today, after listening to this, you might have another reason to be more diligent, to strive harder. Honestly, sometimes I have to play the role of the tough one, too, so we can all strive and grow together. San knows that we don't want to be overly pressured and don't want to prolong tiresome days of effort with no clear destination. But I'm here, and I believe my responsibility is to be by your side during the toughest times, those foolish and broke days of youth. The idea for this podcast came from a song called Young, Dumb, and Broke. I don't know if you know this song, but San will sing a snippet for you. It's been a while since I sang for you. So you're still thinking of me. Just like I know you should asterisk. I cannot give you everything, I wish I could asterisk. I'm so high at the moment. I'm so caught up in this. We just broke, but we got love to spare. That's a song I've been listening to a lot lately, and the lyrics are very impactful to me. Naive, innocent, and broke. That's the title of the song, you guys. There's a truth that when we are naive, young, and innocent, if we make mistakes during that time, people still sympathize with us. We have nothing in our hands, no job, no career, no direction for ourselves, and these things don't seem so bad when we're young because we still have a lot of time and health. But one day, when we're 30, 40, 45, and still foolish and broke, we will truly suffer. Not to mention, the whole world will no longer sympathize with us. Everything seems incredibly difficult. Perhaps right now, everything is very easy for you, even if you're still foolish and broke. But it's like, okay, I just need to worry about this meal. I haven't earned much money, but I can still make ends meet daily. But then comes a time when you have a family, you have to worry about more people, or your parents get sick, for example, and you have nothing in your hands. That's probably when we'll be very burdened. That's what I feel very worried about if I ever face such a situation. And one of my biggest motivations to earn money, to be diligent, to strive, is that I want to have a certain safety and security so that later, when I get old, I have a place to rely on, and that's money, my friends. Truly, that refuge is not just for myself, but also for those around me, my parents, those who need help from me. I myself have gone through a long period where I don't necessarily think I suffered too much. I think I still had better conditions than others because I grew up in a city environment. My mother was a teacher, and I got to go to school and study. So, even though I knew my family's finances weren't great, I still saw the good things I had, so that later I would strive even harder because I yearned for a truly solid foundation, both mentally and materially. No matter what, we cannot escape the material aspects of life. It's just about knowing how to balance and control it. Is money not important? No, it's incredibly important. It's not everything, but it's a huge part of life that makes things more comfortable. Let me tell you a story. A few days ago, I took my mother from Ha Tin to Ho Chi Minh City. In some foolish way, I booked the tickets in the wrong direction. I was supposed to book from Vinh to Ho Chi Minh City, but I booked a flight from Ho Chi Minh City to Vinh on the same day. The ticket price I had to pay for 2 people was about 3 million VND. But when we went to check-in, I suddenly realized with a shock that I had booked the wrong direction. I was quite panicked then, but I tried to stay calm and went to the ticket counter to ask them to check again. As a result of my foolishness and lack of caution, I had to pay an additional 5.3 million VND to fly to Saigon that day. That means the total ticket cost was 8.3 million VND for 2 economy class tickets, seated at the very back of the plane. Because I was the one who bought the new ticket last minute, there were no other tickets left. Meanwhile, the original price should have gotten us business class, you guys, and it was many times more than the initial ticket I bought. The story here is that everything still went very normally and happily. My mother and I even looked at each other and laughed at my own silliness and naivety. But the question is, why were we able to laugh? Because I could afford the extra amount without feeling too stressed or tired. For example, if it were San from many years ago, when I first tentatively came to Ho Chi Minh City with no money and made such a booking mistake, I probably wouldn't have been able to fly that day. I would have had to choose another option, go back home and wait until tickets were cheaper to fly in or borrow money from someone. And of course, at that moment, there wouldn't have been a happy smile, but rather blame and resentment. I see this image in many families when a couple is not financially stable and encounters life's risks. And that's why San thinks we should be truly serious about earning money. Today's podcast, San wants to share with you precisely this. One day, no one will sympathize with us anymore because by then we will be old and have nothing in hand. Even your close relatives will look down on you, disregard you. At 30, with not a single dong in hand, but in debt everywhere. No friends and family treats you lightly, keeps their distance. Doesn't that sound sad, you guys? It is, right? If we look at it a little more positively, maybe people will still treat you normally and encourage you a lot. But they themselves definitely won't be able to give you a look of complete trust. So, right from when we are young, let's try our best, everyone. You currently have great conditions. Those of you listening to San Huyen podcast right now, whether you are younger, the same age as San, or older. San understands one thing: you are all striving to live a better life. That is the normal desire of every person to have smoother relationships, more comfort regarding money, and you can do that if you choose to escape poverty now. I don't want to be poor anymore, I don't want to suffer anymore, so now I will try my best. I will guide myself. I'm not rich, I'm not skilled yet, but I will start to reevaluate myself and my current abilities. Who am I now and what am I doing? What field do I have potential in? And I will slowly work hard. I will look more broadly at environments where I can grow, and I will go there. I am a seed, and I will plant myself in fertile soil. And those are the steps we should take. Choose to escape poverty. Don't accept everything you have and think you can't change your life. Don't accept too much comfort and laziness during this period of youth, because you will pay a very high price when you get old. Growing older every day, with nothing in hand, receiving contempt from everyone, and even you yourself will despise yourself greatly. Many of you think, my parents have a lot of money, my grandparents will take care of everything. But who knows what tomorrow brings, right? If you were born into a wealthy family, that's wonderful. But think about overcoming privilege, because that's also difficult. At least when we're poor, our goal is to escape poverty. So, if you're already rich, already have money, what's the goal then, you guys? We need to help more people escape poverty. Because when you help more people escape poverty, you yourselves will surely become wealthier. You establish and open businesses, you have capital, you build healthy working environments, pay a reasonable salary, and motivate people. All those people out there trying to make a living can cling to some job so they can strive and take care of their families. Those are your responsibilities when you are born into a wealthy family. But maybe you don't think about that. All you think about is enjoyment. Mom and Dad, give me money so I can study in this country or that, so I can spend freely and do what I like. Of course, you are allowed to do what you like, but don't forget that there are greater and more magnificent things out there. When you think about them, you feel much bigger. If we only stop at the thought of enjoying the rest of our lives because our parents have already taken care of everything for us, then that is an incredibly poor mindset, because all you have is money. A valuable person doesn't simply derive value from someone else's money. You yourself must be the one who creates value, who earns money. So everyone will need to strive and work hard. San believes that living a life of effort to increase your self-worth and strive for a better life contributes a lot to living a meaningful life. Of course, that doesn't mean we have to be overly pressured or exploit ourselves. San just wants you to choose to look at it differently. Give your all to this youth. There's a really good quote I read. Whether the future cries or smiles depends on the laziness of the past. Sometimes, whenever you feel lazy and unmotivated, you can turn on this podcast and listen. San thinks it might help boost your mood and remind you a little. But still, at the end of everything, right now, I have gone through many periods of hard work, and I see that what I'm receiving now is all worth it. My life has changed a lot in terms of mindset, finances, and relationships because I've experienced it and I've reaped the rewards. That's why I want to convey these messages to you, these things, and the reason why we shouldn't choose ease during our youth. We must strive even harder, try even harder. Besides diligence, making suitable choices, knowing your strengths, and choosing to put effort into them is an extremely important part. San believes you can do it. Keep trying and keep striving, set your own goals so that one day you can be proud of yourself. Then you can be a little more relaxed, a little more comfortable. Life will be much more wonderful for you then than it is now. San knows that you face many difficulties, and be grateful for all those difficulties that are forging you. You change every day. We are not perfect, we are just trying our best. Just put your hand on your heart and ask yourself if you've done your absolute best. Thank you all very much for listening to this podcast episode. I truly hope your youth is filled with memorable and worthwhile experiences. San wants to tell you more, share more stories from my youth, and one day I also want to hear your stories. So, starting now, start writing your own story, okay? See you in the next podcast. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.